Welcome to the Heal Yourself podcast, where we dive deep into all things healing. I'm Denise, a speech language pathologist and a self-love coach for adults and teens.
And I'm Kira, a traditional naturopath and functional nutritionist, and we are here to guide you through the transformative process of healing your body, mind, and soul.
From the latest in functional medicine to nurturing your relationship with yourself, healing trauma, and even transforming your money story, we're here to empower you with the knowledge and tools to create lasting change.
So whether you're looking to heal physically, emotionally, or spiritually, join us as we explore the many paths to wholeness and wellness. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Heal Yourself podcast. And today we have special guest, Jill Ogle, who I'm going to introduce. And then I'm going to let her chat about herself a little bit. So Jill is a leading spiritual revolutionist, disrupting the spiritual community and helping people clear their past to create a fulfilling, inspired life. So welcome to the podcast, Jill.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's lovely to be here.
Yeah. So tell us a little more about yourself beyond the bio, obviously.
Yeah. I guess, as with everyone, we've had experiences in our life that have sort of led us on this spiritual journey or life journey. And for me, it was sort of there was a couple of pivotal moments in my life that sort of really awoken me to just how much power we actually have within us to not only heal our emotional and mental bodies, but to also heal our physical body. I had chronic disease from 12 years, 12 since I was 12 years old. And, I spent time struggling and being challenged with iron deficiencies and fatigue and all these different things. And was misdiagnosed and undiagnosed and then labeled fibromyalgia and a bunch of other things. And no one could really get to the bottom of it for me. And so, when my dad passed, that was a massive awakening. And then again, when my brother passed, that was another awakening. And it really helped me to understand exactly what it does take to heal ourselves at an emotional level so that we can then heal ourselves at a physical level, because it's all intertwined and entangled. And so it's been a bit of a journey. I woke up after my dad's death, as I said, and then I began working for Dr. Joe Dispenza, helping to co-facilitate retreats with him. And that was fun and fantastic for a while. And then when my brother died, I awakened to a sort of a whole other level of what was possible and what was available to us, and what I was missing in the previous kind of work that I'd been doing, which has led me to this now moment. So yeah, it's been an interesting ride. I've had bouts of depression, attempted suicide when I was a teenager. There's been a lot of stuff kind of going on in my life that I didn't fully understand how to heal from these things, not just, like I said, the physical stuff that I had going on, but also this deeper emotional content that was impacting my body and actually causing the physical ailments to begin with. So yeah, here I am.
Here you are. Well, thanks for sharing. I'm always so interested in people's stories, because it's not just, oh, one day I woke up and decided to do this. It's like, no, we've all had a journey.
Yeah.
But you said something that resonated with me, because this is something I'm constantly talking to my clients about in my practice, because I'm working with the physical body. But emotions are huge. That's something that we dig into. Do you mind speaking about that and how emotions impact the physical body?
Yeah, for sure. So the first thing I want to say about emotions is that they are super intelligent feedback mechanisms and they're also based on lies. Now, I'm going to explain that. So, when we have an experience, our brain actually automatically splits the event into either it's a positive thing or it's a negative thing. And if we perceive it to be a negative thing, then the positives of that event become unconscious. And if we perceive it to be a positive thing, then the negative things become unconscious. And we see things as one-sided events. This is really good, this is really bad. And the truth of the matter is, every single situation has both sides, but because we're looking at things with this polarity, with this one-sided view, we have an emotional response, right? So the thing that happens, and we're aware of the positives and we're not aware of the negatives, we're like, this makes me happy. And then conversely, something happens and we're like, oh, I don't like this. And so we're conscious of the negatives and unconscious of the positives. And it's like, this makes me sad. And so it's actually not the event. It's actually not the event that is causing us to feel a certain emotion, but it's our perception of it. So that's one thing I want to mention, is that your emotions are liars. However, they do provide essential feedback to show you where you've got an imbalanced perception over a past event. And wherever you've got an imbalanced perception over a past event, that content will be stored in your physical body, in your subconscious mind. And if it's not dealt with, you'll have little taps on the shoulder. Someone might upset you and trigger you, and that's a indicator that there's something there to heal. And if you don't hear that, well, then you might have a problem at work, and you lose your job all of a sudden, and you don't listen to that, because you're not taught how to understand the feedback that we get in life. You're not taught how to look at your reality and say, okay, something's going on in my external reality, so that therefore must be within me, because my external reality is the product of my internal reality. Yeah. And so because we're not taught this, there's a disconnect. And so that emotional content is stored in our body, and it gets louder and louder. And then you've got the tap on the shoulder by the trigger, you've got the loss of job, you've got the divorce, and then here comes the disease, because it's your intuition, it's the universe screaming out to you to say, hey, I want to heal this. Hey, I want to come home. There's part of me that's been lost along the way, and I'm fractured, and I don't feel whole and complete. And I really want this part of me to come back home. So can you help me with this? And then even at that physical level, we quite often don't get the message. And it's not our fault. We're not taught this. We're not taught this, how to understand this feedback. And so that's when people, they go through the allopathic medicine route, and do all sorts of things to their physical body. And unless we get to that root cause and make changes, and at least change the behaviors that has caused it in the first place, then there's chance of regression and recurrence, and that lung cancer is now in the liver, and so yeah, so it's, to me, it's about the emotions are really again, like I said, not to be believed. However, they are to be listened to understand the feedback that they're trying to give you.
Yeah, and that's such a good way of looking at it, because this seems to be popping up on recent podcast episode too, but so many people want this instant gratification, or as I say, Amazon Prime your health. what supplement can I take? Well, maybe I missed something. I just need to run more labs because those didn't show me enough. So let me run $1,000 more of lab work to see what else is going on. And ultimately, the diagnosis doesn't tell us anything. And I know
Mm,
that some people don't like to hear that, but I'm like, but does it tell you what to do? It
mm,
doesn't. It's just a name.
mm.
And it's so easy to ignore the emotions because, like you said, we're not taught. I didn't learn that in school. My parents didn't teach me that.
But not only that, even in some of the, the spiritual communities, we're not taught. We're taught that to get beyond our emotions and to, if you feel like this, it's a low vibration and you should go and dance and change your vibration. And it's like, what the hell is that going to do? It's
The emotion is still there.
yeah, like, and this is the point, like I say to my clients all the time, I don't want you to feel better. I want you to transform. I want that transformed so it's permanent, so that you don't have to keep going through this. I need to do this to feel better. I need to do this to feel better. And absolutely what you said, it's like this quick fix band-aid approach. And we live in such a fast society, and I think we're becoming less patient and more just really wanting that result now. But what they don't understand is if you actually just dive straight into the pain point, you'd probably, I spent, I mentioned to you, I was unwell since I was 12 years old. They tested me for rheumatoid arthritis. I had chronic fatigue when I was in my teens. They told me to take a supplement. We never got to any root causes of anything, even on the physical level. And that went on for close on 30 years. And it's it's like, it's fortunate that I found this information, and I did find this information because of those challenges and those struggles and the suffering. And so super, super grateful for that. Um, but when you can waste 30 years, you can waste decades,
Mhm.
decades chasing a magic pill, chasing the right test, chasing the right supplement, chasing the right, the new um, methylene blue or the new whatever. And I'm not, I'm not dissing any of these things
Yeah.
either. However, um, if you're not dealing with the emotional content, you're not truly healing. And and so when you do heal that part of you that has um, experienced a trauma, that has experienced an emotional event, that even has just a judgment about something. And that can be in the positive or the negative, by the way. It's not just, you're judging someone and looking down on them. It could be that you're judging someone and completely infatuated with them. All of that is out of balance. All of that is out of balance. So it's about bringing ourselves back into balance and seeing the positives in the negatives and the negatives in the positive. And that's homeostasis.
Hmm.
I mean, that's homeostasis right there. And that's when you can have an instant healing, as soon as you get that thing and have that aha moment, you can see, wow, I can see what I was missing here. Your body will respond to that processing, to that integration. And it's beautiful. It's so beautiful.
It's
Yeah.
definitely a challenge to get there, though, for many, of where does that aha come from? I'm trying all these things, I'm looking at emotions and past trauma. What would you say
I,
to someone that's like, I don't know where to start because so many don't?
yeah, look, absolutely. And so, I mean, the first thing I suggest to people is to start to really become aware. We have a term in neuroscience, metacognition. You want to become super, super self-aware. What is happening through your day that's triggering you? What is happening through your day that is draining you of energy? What is happening through your day that's kind of just, agitating you? And start to journal about these things, because I like to say that everyone is coming to heal us and everyone is coming to be healed. And this is one thing that I think we get wrong in this kind of spiritual community, or just in life in general, is we are divine beings, and whether you call it God or universe or source, or it doesn't matter. We are God source. We are divine, and when someone comes to us and triggers us, that is an opportunity for us to find the part of ourselves that we've not yet owned, loved, and integrated. And instead, we're taught in the general society that person is toxic, and you need to remove that toxic person from your life. That relationship is toxic. You need to set boundaries and cut them off. And we're missing it. We're missing it. You're missing a conversation with God. You're missing a conversation with the divine in that moment. Oof, emotion. Because just as you are God, and my table is God, and the milk that we drink is God, and the grass and the trees are God, so is this other person that is upsetting us. And we forget our divinity in that moment. We forget who we truly are, and we certainly forget who they are, because it's painful, right? And so I like to have that in the back of my mind, that everyone is coming to heal us. So what is this person teaching me? What am I learning from this? What is this bringing up for me? Journal about my day. What's draining me of my energy? How can I understand what this feedback is? And then you start to become aware. You start to not to say you won't still be triggered, right? Because there is a little bit of a process to get to the side of the healing. However, that alone starts to open you up to possibility, opens you up to, wow, what am I missing here? What am I missing here? This is God in front of me. What's going on? And it really it's the doorway. It's the doorway into that healing that we also desire.
Yeah. This is going to trigger some people, but I'm a believer that we're given some of these health challenges as healers. And you said, people come to us, they are our healers, looking at everything else almost like a mirror. Do you think that our health challenges are also here to teach us something?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, and I understand, for someone who struggled for a long period of time trying to find answers with my physical body, I understand how easy it is to get caught up in just wanting to feel better. Any symptom in our body is a signal to suggest that we are off track, that we are out of alignment with the universe. We are not following our, what I call the inner compass roadmap, our North Star. We all have a purpose in this lifetime. We all have a telos. We come in with a mission, and that could be to be a great mum. That could be to have a beautiful garden. That could be to be an incredible business person, an entrepreneur, an innovator. It doesn't necessarily mean, famous, right? It doesn't necessarily mean huge impact at a global level. It could be a huge impact at your family level. And when we're off path, that's when we'll start to get symptoms. And the symptoms are our intuition trying to get us back on track. Now, I know there'll be people in the audience thinking, well, I don't even know what my purpose is. I don't even know where to start with that. And I get it. And again, it's a process to find that, and that's okay. However, once you do find that, that will greatly assist with your healing. You'll have a sense of purpose. You'll come alive. You'll show up in a different way. for anyone that's ever been on vacation that loves to travel and you've had to get up at like 3 o'clock in the morning to catch some crazy flight, but you're going on vacation and you love to travel. So you bounce out of bed and you're like, let's go. We're going to the airport, right? You've got the energy for that. However, if you got to get up at 3 a.m. to go to a job that you don't like, where's your energy now? Right.
Mhm.
So you can see automatically how you're thinking, how doing things you love automatically change your physiology. And so in my work, I help people to get on purpose, and then I also look at the psychosomatic of the condition, which is simply just the emotional content behind the physical outcome diagnosis situation. And so, for instance, for anyone that has breast cancer, they'll have massive people-pleasing tendencies. they'll they'll tend to be someone who sort of faffs around and looks after the family first and makes sure everyone's okay, and looks after the kids and the grandkids and exerts themselves cooking for everyone and baking dishes for the community, and all this sort of thing. It's like over the top, and so that it's the lack of ability to self-nurture. And so understanding the emotional content of each of these conditions, we can start to sort of work out where we could make changes and where we sort of need to look for at a deeper level to see if there's something else there. What caused us to show up in this way in the first place, right? Because there's always something behind that. And so when we get to the bottom of things, when we get to the root cause, again, we can do the work to heal, own, love, integrate, and the physical body must respond. You cannot have an internal shift without the external shift.
Yeah, I agree. Mm.
Yeah.
I,
And
we Go ahead.
oh, I was just going to say, for anyone who's out there listening, if you've ever been diagnosed with an incurable disease, please just know that that just means curable from within. So don't buy it. Don't buy it.
Mhm.
Do whatever you can to get to the bottom of things, and allow yourself to have the healing you deserve.
Yeah,
Mm.
there's
Yeah.
always a path through. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't
Yeah.
want people to lose hope. It's like, no, just because conventional medicine isn't working for you doesn't mean that there isn't a way.
Exactly. We have, you know, similar to me, right? People coming that have not been able to have a diagnosis from a doctor. And sometimes when you're ill for a long time, or you've got unexplained pains or something like this, all you want to do is put a label on it so you can understand
Yeah.
what the hell is going on, and that you're not crazy, and that no, there is actually something here. I mean, the amount of times that I went to allopathic doctors and said, there is something wrong in my body. There is something wrong in my body. And I was dismissed. It was, nope, your tests are fine. They
Mhm.
weren't even doing the correct tests in the first place. And, it's crazy out there.
Yeah.
And I really love, I really do believe that it all starts at an emotional level. And if you can clear up that emotional content, it's done. The ailment, the disease, the whatever it is will disappear from your body. And I also think that, if you're enjoying a supplement, or you're enjoying eating a certain way, then you should absolutely do that as an adjunct, because you know everything starts at the emotional level, and then the other things are very real. You have the food sensitivities, you have the allergies, you have the vaccine reactions, you have, but it all starts at the emotional level. And so if we can clear out that emotional content and then support yourself in whatever other way it is that you want, it doesn't need to be an either or. It can be, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because we want to support the physical body too. And that's what I tell people. You don't have to eliminate every food you love, but at the same time, you do need to be supporting the physical body that you're living in right now with at least quality foods.
Yes, absolutely. And as far as diets go, I mean, some people thrive on carnivore, some on
Mhm.
other styles of diets, and that's okay. Whatever works for you truly.
Yep.
Um, and and just because you're working with the mind, I wouldn't then go out and eat gluten if you're a celiac, right? We want
Yeah.
to sort the situation out first, and not get yourself all puffy and reactive. But yes, absolutely. I mean, the more you can eat organic food close to home,
Mhm.
fresh, grass-fed meats and, you know, grass-fed butters and raw dairy and all of this sort of thing. It's fantastic to support your physical body. And even, just coming back to the supplement piece for a minute, and I'm sure you've spoken about this before on your podcast, that not all supplements are made equally
Yes.
as well, and that is a key thing if you are going to supplement, to try and get your a quality supplement, so you're not sort of impacting your physical body. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. We've got an episode, guys, on supplements. So scroll
Yes,
back.
I thought for sure you would have. Yeah, yeah.
Well, I could chat all day, but I know we can't. Any final thoughts that you need to share with our audience before we say goodbye?
Yeah, I mean, I just want, like I said, I just want you to know that no matter where you're at your stage of healing, whether you might not even have a physical ailment, right? It could be just the emotional, mental, you know, disturbances going on. Uh, that that you can change your life so quickly, right? You can change your life so quickly, just as quickly as it went into a negative space. If that's what's happened for you, you can change it just as quickly back into a more balanced space. And it really is just how we look at things, how we look at our life. It's the perceptions that cause us to feel a certain way. And once we change those perceptions, then anything's possible.
Yeah. And such an empowering way to look at it too, rather than, well, this is your disease and that's what you're going to deal with forever.
No way. No way. You are not the victim in this life. You are the creator, and
Hmm.
you can create whatever it is that you want. So
Love
create
that.
health. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Well, everything will be in the show notes, but I always ask people, where is the best place to find you?
Yeah. So jillogle.com is my website. You can contact me through there. I also have a Facebook group, Awakened Conscious Creators. So you can absolutely join us there. We have a beautiful community. And yeah, I would love to hear from anyone. If you have a situation, you need a little tip or trick, or you want to have a session, by all means reach out.
Love it. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. And yeah, really, really grateful.
Yeah. Wonderful. All right, guys, you know the drill. Leave us a review, message us on Instagram, let us know what you want to hear about, and we will see you on the next episode.